This may be one of my least popular videos, but hang in there because this just might apply to you. You might be a blame shifter. We can all very easily fall into this trap. Your husband treats you badly, he does something, and so you feel entitled to speak to him disrespectfully, which would actually be your own sinful choice, your own wrong behavior. But it's so very easy to blame him, or maybe you're blaming your mother-in-law because she's nasty, and so you feel justified in giving her the silent treatment and being really rude and acting like she's invisible. That's called blame shifting. Blame shifting in a marriage is especially dangerous because if I just focus on what he is doing wrong, actually in any relationship, if I just focus on what the other person is doing wrong, and I know that I might have a couple of faults, but I don't really do any kind of inventory of my own faults that might have contributed to a deterioration of the relationship. When again, I'm just engaged in looking at the other person's faults, I become depressed, resentful, bitter, discouraged, hopeless. It's kind of like the death knell of that relationship. It doesn't work real well, and it's really not attractive to the other person, right? Your husband, if you've been doing the blame shifting, notices that you respond in a disrespectful way, or you treat him like he's invisible and worthless, and you just shut him out of your life completely. How is this helping your marriage? Unfortunately, when my husband and I have counseled many couples over the years, I'd say probably 75% of the time, the wife is engaged in blame shifting. She might acknowledge for 2 seconds, oh yeah, I have a few faults too, but then she goes on for the next 10 minutes to talk about all of his many faults. And you can kind of see him shrinking in size. He's just kind of slinking down in his chair, sinking down in his chair, feeling like he's worthless, and all she's doing is blame shifting, blame shifting, blame shifting. Now, this doesn't mean that maybe you do need to set boundaries with your husband if he's sinning against you. So this doesn't mean that you should just enable bad behavior, but it does mean that we need to look at our own behavior too. What changes is the Holy Spirit trying to, tell us that we need to make in our own lives? That is where the whole marriage changes, when we're also willing to look at what God is asking us to change. This reminds me of Proverbs 28:13. He who conceals his sins does not prosper, but whoever confesses and renounces them finds mercy. Proverbs 28:13.